This green dustbin contained something so dangerous that even the police got scared. On July 30th, 2015, a 56-year-old man named Roger Miro left his apartment carrying a bag of garbage. He walked down the hallway, turned right, and reached the trash chute. The trash chute was built into the wall like a mailbox. He opened it, threw his garbage bag inside, and then returned to his apartment. Once back inside, Roger reached into his pocket to take out his mobile phone, but the phone was not there. He checked his right pocket, then his back pockets, and searched everywhere, but he could not find his mobile. Since Roger was legally blind, things appeared blurry to him, making it difficult for him to search for small items. Still, he started looking for his phone throughout the apartment. He checked the kitchen, the shelves, under the sofas in the living room, the bedroom, the bathroom, every possible place, but the phone was nowhere to be found. Roger thought that maybe he had accidentally dropped the phone in the hallway while throwing the garbage. He went out of his apartment again and looked on the floor of the hallway, but the phone was not there either. Then he stood near the trash chute and wondered if he had mistakenly thrown his phone along with the garbage bag into the chute. While Roger was standing there thinking about what to do next, one of his neighbors passed by in the hallway. The neighbor saw Roger looking confused near the trash chute and asked him what had happened. Roger explained the situation. The neighbor told him, "Go to the first floor. There is the manager's office. The manager has the key to the trash room. All the garbage from the entire building falls into that room. You can check there." Roger thanked the neighbor. The neighbor went back to his own apartment, and Roger took the elevator to the first floor. He reached the manager's office and knocked on the door. When the door opened, the manager looked quite busy. Roger told him that he might have accidentally thrown his mobile phone in the garbage and wanted to check the trash room. The manager knew that he was not supposed to allow anyone to enter the trash room alone because it was a dangerous area. Normally, the manager should have accompanied Roger. However, at that moment, the manager was waiting for an important phone call and could not leave his office. Feeling sorry for Roger, the manager decided to help him anyway. He said, "Okay, I'll give you the key. You can go and check for your phone yourself. Just make sure to return the key to me when you're done." Roger thanked him, took the keys, left the office, walked through the hallway, and reached the trash room. He unlocked the door with the key and went inside. A few hours later, Roger's wife returned home. She found that Roger was not in the apartment. She tried calling him, but he did not pick up the phone. She searched the apartment for any note or clue about where he might have gone, but there was nothing. She started getting worried because Roger never went out alone at night, especially without telling her. Following her gut feeling, she called the police and reported her husband missing. A short time later, 2 police officers arrived at the apartment building. They first spoke to Roger's wife in their apartment. Then they started knocking on the neighbors' doors to ask if anyone had seen Roger. One of the neighbors was the same person who had met Roger in the hallway earlier. He told the police, "Yes, I saw Roger. He was looking for his missing mobile phone. He went down to the trash room to check if it had fallen in there." The officers immediately went down to the trash room. The door was unlocked. They opened it and entered. It was a completely windowless room with no other doors or windows. In the middle of the room stood a large green dumpster. On the ceiling above the dumpster, there was a circular opening. This was the bottom end of the building's trash chute. All the residents, including Roger, would throw their garbage into the chute on their respective floors. The garbage would travel down the chute and fall into this dumpster through the ceiling opening. This dumpster was not an ordinary one. It had a unique design. The left side of the dumpster had a large opening where the garbage fell in from above. The rest of the dumpster was completely sealed. The opening area was shaped like a funnel, wider at the top and narrower at the bottom. There was a gap of about 3 to 4 feet between the ceiling opening and the dumpster's own opening. When the officers entered the room, they saw the green dumpster and the ceiling opening. They noticed a small step ladder placed near the opening of the dumpster, as if someone had tried to look inside. The officers went closer, climbed the small ladder, and peered into the vertical tunnel of the dumpster's opening. What they saw shocked them completely. Roger had entered the trash room with the key given by the manager. He saw the large green dumpster and realized the only way to look inside was by using the small ladder placed there. He positioned the ladder against the dumpster, climbed up, and leaned forward to look inside the vertical opening. While he was looking down, either some garbage fell from the ceiling chute above him, or he lost his balance and slipped. Whatever the reason, Roger fell into the opening and landed inside the dumpster. What Roger did not know was that this was not a normal dumpster. It was a trash compactor. As soon as Roger's body weight landed inside, it triggered an electronic sensor. The compactor immediately started working. On one side of the dumpster was a powerful hydraulic press. When activated, this hydraulic ram would move from right to left, crushing and shrinking everything inside the dumpster. After crushing the trash, the ram would slowly retract back to its original position. Every time new garbage fell in, the sensors would trigger the press again. Because Roger was legally blind by the time he realized what was happening, the hydraulic press had already begun moving toward him. He tried to get out, but the walls were vertical and there was nothing to hold on to. There was no emergency stop button inside the compactor and no other way to escape. It is assumed that at some point Roger realized he could not climb out. His only option was to move as far away as possible from the approaching press, toward the far side or corner of the dumpster. But even there, he eventually ran out of space. The hydraulic press continued to move and crushed him against one side of the dumpster. We do not know whether Roger died from the first crushing impact or not. What we do know is that he remained inside the dumpster for several hours. During that time, more garbage kept falling from the chute above, repeatedly triggering the sensor. The hydraulic press kept activating again and again, further compacting the contents, including Roger's body. When the police looked inside the dumpster from the opening, they could only see some parts of Roger's body. They immediately understood that nothing could be done. Roger's wife later sued the building manager and the owner of the building for negligence. However, the final outcome of the case was never made public.